Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this episode, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland and Disneyland history with mementos, snapshots, and postcards sent from Disneyland from 1955 to the present. Today, I'm starting off by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join and receive mail from my desk or from my Disneyland trips. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the e-ticket patrons Tania, Eric Daniels, Joe Gamble, Scott Booker, Monica Seitz Vega, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Scott Cagle, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, Ben and Noel Bruning, Patty Wolin, Angela Reynolds, and Aaron Moran. B-ticket patrons Jeff and Paige Orton, and Joshua, and Exorable Tosh Bell. And the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Maggie and Henry Byers, the Disney Rewind podcast, Angel DeBlois, and the All Aboard podcast. You can also sign up for my new newsletter for a chance to get some postcards delivered by the USPS to your mailbox. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has a submarine Triton going on an underwater adventure in the submarine lagoon in Tomorrowland. If you look closely, you can see monorail red at the station. On the back it reads, Submarine Ride in Tomorrowland. You'll explore the mysteries of the 7 seas aboard authentic submarines, viewing the lost continent of Atlantis, the Mermaid Lagoon, and traveling beneath the polar ice cap. It's not postmarked or dated, but was sent with a 4-cent Lincoln postage stamp, Scott number 1036. Based on the postcard and the stamp, let's assume they visit the park on Sunday, September 29th, 1963, when park hours were from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The weather was a high of 100 and a low of 67. Park attendance that day was 7,205. It's addressed to Lori Westhead of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It reads, Hi Lori, having a wonderful time. So much to tell you. The rides are beautiful. Love from Mother and Dad. As I was going through my maps, the top map and daily schedule I saw was from 30 years ago today. So today, September 30th, I thought it would be fun to explore Disneyland as it was 30 years ago, starting with the Disneyland Today Daily Guide. The front cover is black and purple with a Mighty Ducks logo advertisement for the Power Play giveaway. This daily guide was for Monday, September 27th through Friday, October 1st, 1993. At the bottom of the cover is the logo for American Express and an outline of the castle with a half circle around it, which at the time was the Walt Disney World logo. The first panel inside is a crude map of Disneyland, sectioned off with all major lands and key points where certain entertainment would be available. These points being Town Square, the Tomorrowland Terrace, the Golden Horseshoe, the Rivers of America, King Arthur's Carousel, and Videopolis. The event times are listed with location markers for the Golden Horseshoe Jamboree, the Tomorrowland Terrace Band, and the Flag Retreat Ceremony. It's interesting to note that the Flag Retreat Ceremony used to be at 5:30 p.m. and is now held at 4:30 each day. The bottom of the panel lists that Disneyland Park is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The next panel has valuable information about parking, pets, food, smoking, attire, and the return policy. At this time, food and beverages could not be brought into the park, and it notes that there's a picnic area located to the left side of the main entrance. It is also mentioned that for the consideration of others, we ask that you please refrain from smoking in line while waiting for an attraction and in popular open areas, parades, stage shows, etc. The middle of this panel has a map of the surrounding area of Disneyland, including the parking lot and 4 main streets that circle the Disneyland Resort: Catella Avenue, Ball Road, West Street, and Harbor Boulevard. The bottom of this page has an advertisement reminding guests to visit the newest and tooniest land, Mickey's Toontown, with an illustration of Goofy driving the Jolly Trolley with Mickey, Minnie, and Donald riding along. The third panel is dedicated to the Disneyland Hotel. It has a headline, More Magic to See and Do, and Monorail Close too. Even though the park would close at 6 p.m., there's a section that reads, Let the monorail whisk you away to the Disneyland Hotel, an enchanting 60-acre playground. The hotel tram will bring you back to the Disneyland parking lot till 10 p.m. There's listed 3 great ways to dine with characters: Aladdin breakfast at Goofy's Kitchen, Beauty and the Beast dinner at Goofy's Kitchen, or Pinocchio Italian dinner at Cafe Via Verde. and mentions that you can receive a unique button by visiting and dining at all 3 locations. For entertainment, it lists the Fantasy Waters show featuring the magic of Disney music at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. nightly, or live country music at the Neon Cactus Wednesday through Sunday, and cowboy karaoke on Monday night and Tuesday night. At the bottom of this panel, there's an advertisement for Cool Runnings coming soon to theaters everywhere. The inside flat panel explains Magic Days Passport, including a 3-day passport for $75 regular or $60 for children, 2 magical days for $55 or $44 for children, or 1 magical day for $30 or $24 for children. Other passports include the Disneyland Annual Passport for $195 or $155 for children, a Senior Fun Passport for $60 and over, $24 for 1 day, and a Disneyland Seasonal Passport, good Sunday through Friday, September through May, excluding December 25th through the 31st for $105 or $85 for children. Finally, a guided tour for 3.5 to 4 hours for $42 or $35.50 for children. The guided tour option means you get into the park for $30 and take a 3.5-hour tour for an additional $12. The back panel includes details about the Mighty Ducks Power Play giveaway. Grand prizes available included the use of a luxury box suite for all Mighty Ducks home games during 1 season, 2 Mighty Ducks season tickets, 2 tickets for 15 Mighty Ducks home games, a team jersey and autograph hockey stick, or a Mighty Ducks gift package. Other prizes included tickets to a Mighty Ducks home game or Mighty Ducks at Disneyland t-shirt, sports caps, and duck calls. It is also mentioned that all kids ages 3 to 11 entering Disneyland with a paid admission will score a Mighty Ducks sports bottle. There is also a Mighty Ducks merchandise headquarters in Tomorrowland's Premier Shop. One of my favorite details on this pamphlet is the little recycling logo at the bottom of the back panel with a hidden Mickey within the 3 arrows. I also enjoy the map of the parking lot with classic characters like Mickey, Minnie, Tinkerbell, and Goofy, but also characters like King Louie, Robin Hood, Happy, Sleepy, Thumper, and Winnie the Pooh. It's also interesting to note that the section for the motorhomes and buses was the Eeyore parking lot, which would soon be removed for the Indiana Jones attraction. Great news! Enfield Post is back up on Etsy. Grabbing some vintage stamps is a great way to plus your mail, whether you're trying to match the color of your postcard or envelope or adding a themed stamp to the back of your mail. Be sure to check out Enfield Post. You can head over to EnfieldPost.com and explore all the different vintage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has a fire engine pulling up to Sleeping Beauty Castle. If you look closely, you can see the wishing well, and just behind the fire engine, you can see the front of the omnibus. On the back it reads, Sleeping Beauty Castle. 2 worlds of excitement come together. Chugging horseless carriages take you on a nostalgic journey down Main Street, USA. Ahead is Sleeping Beauty Castle, gateway to Fantasyland, home of Snow White, Peter Pan, and many other famous Walt Disney characters. It's not postmarked, but sent with a 6-cent flag with the White House postage stamp, Scott number 1338. Based on the stamp and postcard, let's assume they visited the park 50 years ago today, Sunday, September 30th, 1973, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The weather was a high of 84 and a low of 59. It's addressed to Mary Simon of Livermore, California. It reads, Hi Mary, we're having so much fun. I think we went on all or most of the rides. Today, we're going to the movie studios and Knott's Berry Farm. We also might try to get on the Johnny Carson show, Bonnie and Mickey. The front of the 1993 Disneyland Souvenir Guidebook map has a few photos of Toontown, but a majority of the cover is a cartoon-style drawing of Toontown. If you look closely, you can see Donald Duck on his boat, Mickey and Minnie in a red car, Chip and Dale enjoying the Jolly Trolley, and Gadget in one of the Acorn cars on the Gadget Go coaster. This is only a section of Toontown, and you can see Mickey's house, Minnie's house, and at the bottom right-hand corner, you can see a little bit of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Although Sleeping Beauty Castle does not border Toontown. The illustration continues on the inside cover. Although you can't see any characters, you can see parts of Toontown City Hall and the Roger Rabbit Fountain. The following pages of the map include details about guest services. Some highlights include the Penny Arcade on Main Street and the Starcade in Tomorrowland, where you could cash checks up to $20. You can drop off film at the Camera Center on Main Street or the Castle Sundries at the Disneyland Hotel, and Fox Photo would have your photos ready in either 2 hours or processed by the next day. There's also a page dedicated to healthier food, listing food options by land and restaurant throughout the park. While looking at the Main Street changes from the 1992 to 1993 map, the Town Square Cafe, which was located across the street from the Mad Hatter on Main Street, was removed and replaced by an expansion of the neighboring shop. Another change was a change in name caused by the opening of Toontown. The Disneyland Railroad station that was called the Videopolis Station was now listed as Mickey's Toontown Station, but is now known as Toontown Depot. Also added to the Fantasyland section of this map is the Small World Toy Shop, which is the gift shop you exit through after enjoying the happiest cruise that ever sailed, It's a Small World. In the Adventureland section of the map, this would be the last time the Tahitian Terrace would be mentioned, as it was replaced by Aladdin's Oasis in the middle of 1993. The end of the guidebook is filled with full-panel advertisements for music, movies, and other entertainment. This 1993 map has an ad to purchase Pinocchio on VHS with the tagline, "Make a wish come true while you still can," on video for the last time this century. There's also an ad for the Super Mario Bros. Movie with Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper, opening Friday, May 28th at theaters everywhere. Another panel celebrates the Disney Channel's 10-year anniversary, highlighting the magical world of Disney, Adventures in Wonderland, and Fleetwood Mac, Going Home. Finally, there's an ad for Craig & Company, Rockin' Toontown, which was an album made for Toontown, and there's mention of an upcoming concert, which I was able to find on YouTube. This incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is an online craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Be sure to check out Monday's ATD, which is usually hosted by paper artist Russ Romano. I've seen many amazing art projects, learned about awesome postmarks, postage stamp history, and a lot more on different episodes. It's great to stop in for an hour to watch someone craft or design something unique. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming mail is just a blank envelope with my address. It's postmarked September 19th, 2023, with a Santa Ana, Thinking of You cancel, and 2 Pixar Forever postage stamps, one with Lightning McQueen and Mater from Cars, and one with Doug and Carl from Up, Scott number 4553 and 4556 respectively. There's no note, but included 3 copies of San Francisco Square opening day maps for Disney California Adventure. Thank you so much for the mail and maps, Mrs. McSparky. This is one of my favorite things about the Disney community. The opening day San Francisco Square map was only available on August 31st, and a friend on Instagram reached out and asked if I was interested in some. After I said yes, without hesitation, they were sent and delivered to my P.O. box. These were free maps and didn't cost much to send, but it's greatly appreciated. My map collection really helps with episodes like today's episode. Just a quick glance at the special map versus a recent map I picked up at the park. I love the small detail of the cast member's badge, which changes from Robert with Baymax listed under the cast member's name, and the Halloween map I just got has Ronnie with Darth Vader. These details make it fun to go through each map. Be sure to go and follow Miss McSparky on Instagram. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would be helpful to share your favorite episode to a friend or on social media. There are over 200 to choose from. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment at whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/SentFromDisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Sent From Disneyland, or on Twitter at Sent From Disney. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent From Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to its host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast.